Back here at home, President-elect Donald Trump's proposed trillion-dollar infrastructure plan has Congress taking sides, and not exactly the sides you might expect. Republican lawmakers are in sticker shock, while top Democrats, like incoming Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, are on board. Here to break down the plan, Trump economic advisor, Fox News contributor Steve Moore. Steve, always nice to see you. Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas, guy. I want to go to Hawaii. I want Kevin's job.
I know. I think you got to get in a long line, my friend. We'll work on getting you a little snow in Chicago, though. To this, you and I have talked.
You can see we don't have the white stuff yet.
Yeah, no. Well,
we're waiting for it tonight.
We'll be working on that. Maybe Santa will bring it. On to economics here. As we look at Mr. Trump's economic plan, and specifically its infrastructure plan, you've been on this program a lot. You've sort of many times really argued against these kinds of massive federal government spending programs. Why is this different?
Well, there's a big difference, Leland, between infrastructure, especially private infrastructure, which has a return on investment and makes the American economy
what
better.
does private infrastructure mean? We keep hearing this tossed around.
I'll tell you, when companies build factories and plants, and there's all sorts of energy projects that could be built with private money. So I'm making a distinction here, Leland, between the kind of old-fashioned public works projects, which Obama spent, hundreds of billions of dollars on. Remember all those shovel-ready projects that didn't really create many jobs at all, versus really smart infrastructure, a mixture of public and private. So when people throw around that trillion-dollar number, they think, oh, taxpayers are going to have to pay for $1 trillion of spending. I don't think so. I'll give you just one example of a project that is hugely important for our infrastructure that's not going to cost the taxpayers a dime, and that's the Keystone XL pipeline, which is something that's been held up for 5 years by Obama and Hillary Clinton. We could get that going literally in the first month after Donald Trump takes the oath of office, and I would submit to you there are dozens and dozens of other projects like that. So smart infrastructure is what I'm for.
But, and there's a big but here in terms of whether or not you're going to get congressional approval for a lot of these smart, as you call them, infrastructure projects. Why is it that Republicans are very tepid to get behind this? They're still talking about sticker shock, whereas it's Democrats who are saying, hey, this sounds great. And I'm guessing that if Democrats and Republicans may be talking about slightly different things here, because
I think that's exactly right, and I think you nailed it. That Republicans are saying, look, we're going to build a network of pipelines around this country. We need LNG terminals so we can export our oil and natural gas. We need refineries in this country. I live in Virginia. We have a privately funded toll road where it was built with private money. It's paid for by the tolls the people use it, so that didn't cost the taxpayers a dime. Given the fact, Leland, that we're still running nearly $1 trillion a year deficits, we've got to find ways where we can really leverage that private sector funding for these projects. We don't want to build, what we don't want is the bridges to nowhere in Alaska. We don't want, $70 billion high-speed rail program in California. Those kinds of things are a waste of money.
Oh, come on, but it's so much quicker to get to Vegas then. When you hear things like, when you hear Chuck Schumer saying, oh yeah, I'm totally for the Trump infrastructure plan, though, do you think he's going to be for the infrastructure plan you just discussed or the bridges to nowhere?
Well, that's a great question. You might have to ask him that question. But I will say it's going to probably be a combination of both. I would love to see a jobs bill from Donald Trump right out of the gate with his business tax cut that you and I have talked a lot about on this show, and then you add some of the infrastructure spending that the Democrats want. I would envision maybe a jobs bill that you could get passed in the first 100 days that does some infrastructure spending, those business tax cuts that are so important for growth. I'm excited about 2017, Leland. I think we could see a burst of growth, 4% growth, which could put a lot of Americans back into jobs, and I want to see Democrats vote for that. I don't want to just do it with Republican votes. I want to do it in a bipartisan way. We'll see if Chuck Schumer wants to cooperate.
You know, Steve, it's a perfect place to end. You were the first person I ever interviewed as an anchor on Fox News. That was Christmas 2013. You said, I'm cautiously optimistic. And I remember you crossed your fingers.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive. I'm positive. And now you don't have to cross your fingers, and you are optimistic.
Exactly.
Good to hear. Nice to talk to you, sir. Merry Christmas to you and yours.